Mum giving $10,800 in taxpayer funds for poor families, spent most of it on a luxury Miami trip. I wanted to blow it. Don't you just love putting in your 50-hour weeks for your government to take its 30% so that it could send this woman to Miami? Don't you love that you worked for that? That you put in, you grinded in, you threw your back out, you're in agony, you're absolutely tired after a 10-hour day. Don't you just love that? That all of that was for this woman to go to Miami. I'm glad you worked hard for that. I bet you are. Do your job, citizen, so that we can take our cut. A mum of three, given nearly $11,000 in a taxpayer-funded programme for impoverished families, has admitted blowing most of it on a luxurious 5-day trip to Miami, even getting a $180 glow-up to not look like a working mum while there. Kenethia Miller... Kenethia... 27, was one of 132 mothers in Washington, D.C., accepted last year into the Strong Families, Strong Future pilot program designed to help those living around the poverty line, according to the Washington Post. She chose to take a no-strings-attached $10,800 lump sum rather than $900 monthly payments and immediately spent more than $6,000 on the trip for her three sons, and their father. I wanted to blow it. I wanted to have fun, she told the D.C. paper. That's not what that money was for. It was to, give you some sort of capital so that you could try and get your family out of poverty. Maybe you could pay off any debts or credit cards that you had so that your monthly bills were easier. Maybe there was something new that you wanted to buy for the household that would reduce costs or just something, right? That's what you do. By the way, see, when my channel started getting big and I actually started making money, the first thing I did was paid off student loans. I didn't have any other debt. I don't do debt. I don't do debt. I don't have a credit card. I don't have a credit card at all. Basically, if I don't have the money for something, I don't buy it. I save. Which I can do. You're not going to be able to save for a house. By the time you're done, you'll be in your 60s or something like that. The two debts that I think is totally reasonable to have: your house, your car. Right? I don't have a car, and the house is almost paid off. Right? But reasonably, your house and your car, that's fine. There's no way you're going to be able to naturally save up for those. Right? But little things like if you got an overdraft, if you get a credit card, do you have like a loan that you took out or something like that? Pay those off, because then that makes your monthly bills easier. And then the extra money you have left over from your monthly bills, you can use to save for the things that you want. You could maybe save up a bigger down payment for your house or your car so that your bills for those are much less. See, that's the things that you do. That's the things that you do. If you're poor, if you come into some capital, you use it to make yourself less poor. Right? That's what I would do. That would be the smart thing. But it's obviously she didn't give a fuck about that. She just wanted to go to Miami. I'll admit Miami does look pretty beautiful. I've been to Florida a long time ago. I was like 18 when I went to Florida because we wanted to do all the Disneyland stuff. Is that the end of the article? I was about to say, is that the end? That was fast. My kids got to experience something I would never have been able to do if I didn't have that money. It wasn't for the kids, it was for you. Shut up. For the trips, Miller bought 15 new outfits for her children, one for each day of the vacation, proudly telling the DC paper every outfit they wore was new. She also spent $180 getting her hair and nails done makeover, excitedly recalling how good she looked for the trip. I don't have to look like a working, stressed mum, she said of the pricey glow-up. Then in Miami, Miller spent much of her new cash on steak dinners, new gadgets and toys for the children, and a boat tour past some of the city's most expensive mansions. She justified her spending by saying she hoped to inspire her children and teach them that if they work hard enough, they may one day be able to afford one of the mansions. Yeah, exactly. Work hard enough. They're not going to learn that in the household when mummy could have actually paid off some of the debt or done something to make the bills a bit easier every month and didn't just blow the money on Miami. Maybe you're not exactly setting the best example. Miller then ate up the remainder of her funds on bills and a used car, she said. Right. The bills, obviously, yeah, absolutely use the money for that. A used car, okay, yeah, especially if it's for work and stuff like that. I've no problem with that as well. If it was a brand new car, I'd have been pissed. Yeah, you're not getting a brand new car for 10 grand. But still, you know what I mean. Car's reasonable. I'd have been fine with them buying a car. Unless it was... See if it's I literally bought a little shitty banger wagon to help me get to and from work. Not an issue, right? That's fine. But if you're I bought myself a Tesla, that's been you're an idiot. You shouldn't have done that. She had claimed that she needed the money because her financial situation worsened after her third son in the summer of 2022. Miller paused her education to receive a degree in social work to focus on the growing family and was living in a subsidised two-bedroom apartment at the time. She was also receiving funds from the Temporary Assistance to Needy Families Fund, which helped cover her £120 a month rent. Fucking, geez, absolute bargain. Absolutely nothing in rent. What do you mean you get your hair done? Where is it? You paid $180 to fucking shave it off. I get my wife to fucking do it for nothing. Like, you get your hair done. What hair? Fucking arsehole. but still, Miller said she was struggling to make her food stamps last. Groceries last us the first 3 weeks of the month, then it's trying to figure out the last week of my benefits, she explained. It lasts, but it cuts close. Now she said she has opened a savings account in which she hopes to keep $50 and insisted the government programme taught her how to save money for the future. You are a grown woman with 3 children and you don't know how to do that. I learned that shit when I was 14 when I got my first paper round. I saved every penny I could from it and I bought myself a sound system. Bought myself a really good sound system. I miss it. Very outdated. I threw it out after like 6 years. Bought myself a really good sound system that I couldn't fucking play because it was too loud and my dad worked night shifts. So that sucked. I still worked hard and I saved hard and I got my sound system. But still, like, saving money, that is something you should have figured out early. Not after you've had the 3 children. I mean, before you even have a child, that is a crucial skill that you must know. You must know that skill. Jesus Christ. Also, how much were the jeans? They're ripped. Do you pay less because it's less material? Fucking stupid ripped jeans. She is set to begin a new remote job that pays $30 an hour, an opportunity she credits with the confidence she gained from the programme. You're fucking arse, lying bitch, shut up. A lot of communities in my area don't know the financial gain of credit or saving for your kids. That's why we're broke. That's why we don't have nothing to pass down or no house to give down, Miller explained. Well, you can't do that either because what happens when you pass down a property from your name to your children after you die is that property becomes subject to inheritance tax. So basically, either your child has to come up with like 30, 40 grand out of the blue to actually gain the fucking house, or they have to sell the house on and then pay the fucking tax off with the money they got from the house. That's, by the way, that's what happens. That's what inheritance tax does. Right? What you're better off doing is putting the house in the name of a company and then signing your child on as a company director. That way, all that happened was a company director get added, nothing get passed down, no tax paid, and your child can live in that house. I think the way they do it in America is they sign the house up with a trust. Basically, buy a house with your company, rent the house to you, and never ever sign anyone on the company that isn't family. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get to the level where I'm passing something down that really matters so I can be set and my kids can be set and they don't need to push so hard like I'm doing now. Now, that's the problem is everyone talks about generational wealth. Well, generational wealth is actually pretty fucking difficult when there's so much inheritance tax. Because you could be fucking like a really poor family. Really fucking poor family, and the wife is working like 2 jobs, the husband is grinding at 3 jobs and pulling in 80-hour weeks and doing all this mad stuff, and finally, after so much blood, sweat and tears, they pay off their little 2-bedroom apartment, and they're like, cool, we can give this to the kids. Unfortunately, the kids are also growing up in poverty, so when mum and dad pop their clogs, the kids need to come up with like 20, 30 grand to actually get that apartment, which they don't have. So then they're forced to sell the apartment. Yeah, they still get a little bit of money, after tax, because I think there's double tax after that. There's the inheritance tax plus the actual original tax that they earned. Yeah, so basically they might get about 40% of what the house was worth because of taxes. Now, generational wealth goes a long fucking way in getting people out of poverty. Right? Basically, I'm in a good position because my ancestors worked very, very hard. They worked very, very fucking hard. Whereas you're getting people that are born into poverty because they've got nothing to fucking pass down because of the inheritance tax. I've went on a complete tangent. Anyway, fuck this bitch. I don't like this women. The Post has reached out to Martha's Table, the DC-based organisation that administers the programme, for comment, and I'm assuming they've not said anything back. But that's what's going to happen. Basically, if you ever get a windfall, the first thing you do is pay your debts. Pay your debts, because honestly, see, having your bills being that much easier every month, it's just lovely. It's wonderful. It's great. It should be the first thing you do. Any little silly debts, sort them out. Get rid of them. Right? But this woman just blew it on Miami and has not set a very good example for her children.